That's what was really annoying. We can start, by the way. That's what was really annoying about moving to Maryland was like finding out all these different names and then learning it one way and then having someone like correct you in just like the douchiest way. Because I remember I was there at Anne Arundel, and they're like Arundel Mills or whatever, and it's like, what? Like that's what it's called, but it's called Anne Arundel. No, it's an Arundel. Like
I was calling it Anne Arundel.
Yeah, that's how I used to say it. I used to say it like that
Anne
all the time.
Arundel. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to say Arundel because it made me think of like a Lord of the Rings character. I'm like, Anne Arundel. Anne Arundel, get to the gates. Let the wizard in.
I don't know what you're talking about. You might as well be speaking a different language.
Yeah, and then
Anne Arundel.
Yeah. I'd like to do that. I like to do that too with I like to purposely mispronounce things. It's really fun, like especially to people that you know it's going to mean something. It's like people from Baltimore, and you go, yeah, man, how's it going at Baltimore? Baltimore.
Really?
And they're like, shut the fuck up, it's Baltimore.
You mean Baltimore?
Don't fuck with my city, bro.
It's Balmer, fool.
Oh, yeah, Baltimore.
Balmer.
Those little nicknames that cities like that they get more and more like illiterate. They're just like yeah, welcome to Baltimore. Nah, man, it's Baltimore. And then you have someone just be like, Baltimore.
It's just so much effort to say things correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like
just cut out like half the letters.
Yeah, like
keep the first one and the last three, and you're good.
Yeah, just eliminate some of the syllables. We know what you're talking about. Don't say. I mean, probably. I've kind of like a little problem with this, where I don't say like probably. For instance, I say probably.
Oh yeah.
Which I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Or I say probably, which is even worse. Like that's the illiterate part. I'm just going like probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So I just truncate that part.
That's
probably.
Let's do the intro like that. Welcome to Off the Border podcast. This is
Off board.
Off the board.
Off board.
Welcome to Off the Border. This is Devin.
Off board. I had a whole bit that I wanted to do with our intro, but we've been talking and I think it kind of ruins it.
No, do it.
I can't even remember how I wanted to jump into it. I wanted to be like a British guy. I wanted to pretend like I was the guest on the podcast. Oh. Since you're doing the sound. Okay. I'd be like, this is the you were like, oh, this is the Off the Border podcast. I was like, thank you for having me. This is a special guest. I'm so happy to be. But it feels stupid now. It feels super stupid. Like I wanted to pretend like I had like a British accent the whole time, and I was just like a really good like British actor. But like, whatever.
Well, I mean, we do have a guest coming in halfway through the show, so maybe if he shows up.
Oh, you're not. No. I don't feel any better now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sad.
Hey, I have something I was ranting about earlier this week.
No, because it's sad. I only want to have a pity party.
It makes me sad. Did you see the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
No.
The Last of the Airbender.
No, I think I stopped watching. When was the one where who's the other handsome guy in the movie?
Orlando Bloom.
Where he becomes like the eternal pirate lord or whatever.
That's the third one. Davy Jones. He becomes Davy Jones.
Okay, yeah, he like stabs the heart or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like Jack Sparrow makes him do it.
Yeah. That's
the last one I watched, and there's been like 4 since then.
No, there's been 2.
I feel like there's been a lot.
There has been more. There's been more than there need to be, because I wasn't even a fan of the third one. Like the first 2 are great. The first one's my favorite. The first one's really great. Johnny Depp and Barbosa both are just fantastic in that movie. The second movie, Johnny Depp is great, but then Davy Jones and the guy that plays Davy Jones is awesome. Mm-hmm. I love his acting in that. And then the third one, it was just like too much. It's one of those things where like, and it's like I understand, and because this is going to go off into what my rant is about. It's like I can disband my disbelief for moments, but like when you set the mood for like this is how it's going to be, then you just jump it and go way farther. That's when I start being like, well, you had me at here, and then you had me at 3, and then you jumped to 7. and then you jumped again to 11. Like, I can't do that. Because the first movie, it was pretty realistic, like, in the way that they were doing it, up until the point where they were like, oh, these pirates are zombies.
There's a really great Jump the Shark reference here.
There is.
But maybe it doesn't exist.
Well, it is in the... Actually, no, there
do
is
they
a good
literally
one.
jump a shark in there?
In the new one, they do.
With the Fonz?
In the new
with Henry
one.
Winkler? They're like, that's
Dude.
ridiculous.
Henry Winkler would have been great. Henry...
Is he dead?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so. I think he's still doing...
I'm sure he's in an Adam
commercials.
Sandler movie still.
Probably. He's probably in an Adam Sandler movie. Or he's going to be in one. But yeah, so it's like the first one, it seemed kind of like they were just kind of be a little bit realistic with just a little bit of like cartoony actionness up until the point you get to the zombie pirates. And then the second one, it's still kind of the same thing, but then they add a little bit and they go, oh, but this is Davy Jones, a Cthulhu monster from the bottom of the ocean. And then the third one, they just go even farther, where it's just like, now there's a council of pirates that like...
And Keith Richards is there.
And Keith Richards is there. And just all this other craziness, and then they just go further from there. Like Blackbeard, like the next one after the third one, Blackbeard is in it, and I'm fine with that because Blackbeard is really an interesting character. Like he's one of those guys that he's like somebody else of another show I was watching. His life is so interesting. You don't have to make shit up if you make a movie about him. You can just do a movie about him. He's perfectly fine. Like he would like put yarn or not yarn, but like twine in his beard and light it on fire, and then stand on the deck of his ship when he was like going to attack someone, and they'd give up because they'd be like, "Fuck that, we're not gonna fight that. Are you kidding me? Look at that, his face is on fire." Nope, and they would just lay down their arms. Like he was a really fascinating guy. His like secret power was he had a sword that allowed him to take control of his ship, like physically. Like he could raise his sword and his ship would like take its like ropes and capture people and hang them up.
Is this IRL or is this in the movie?
This is the movie.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it's like it's silly. It's like you're just taking Blackbeard and you've just done something silly. And then he's like looking for the Fountain of Youth, and that's the point. Is he's looking for the Fountain of Youth, and Johnny Depp is also doing it as well. Now the next one. And because this is my problem that I have with the next one. The next one takes place a few years after that. So you have Orlando Bloom, his son that he had with Elizabeth, is now trying to find a way to drop the curse from his father. Because his father's cursed to being Davy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm rolling my eyes.
Oh, got you. Okay, I thought you were falling asleep.
I had too much rum. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha. This was like a pirate movie.
Now that I think about it, I don't even think they made a rum reference in the entire movie.
Oh boy.
See, that's how you know it's already. But here's the thing, right? So they've been getting like the first one, like I said, was kind of realistic with a little bit of cartoonish action, and then like again like the zombie pirates, and then they just went from 3 to crazy 11 because in the beginning of this one, Johnny Depp is trying to steal a safe that's filled with gold in like a city.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like ties rope around the safe, which they said is like 20 tons. It's like a new safe. No one can crack this safe. It's huge and no one can break into it and blah, blah, blah. So they hook it up, or they tie it to a carriage, which they have like 20 horses on it. And then they try to pull it. And then as they're trying to pull it like out of the bank, it just brings the bank with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they're like pulling the safe, which is like 20 ton, and the bank building with it. And they're like going through this city, like drifting in, and Johnny Depp is, doing Johnny Depp shit the entire time. And it's just like, really? You went from like having like really just like real cool, realistic sets and action scenes with like this dumb thing of like, we're just going to drag a giant building around and then try to get the safe out of it.
It's really great how that character is just that outfit with the kind of like wacky, wavy arm doodly things.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like a really slurry, like British accent.
Yeah.
Well, not like that, but
that's
a little
like,
better than that.
That's half the cast. Half of the cast is that.
That's it.
Yeah. But so the part of the movie that was getting me really badly is the female lead that they had, basically to replace.
Which is the one with
Elizabeth.
Is that the one with the Mexican lady?
No, that's the Blackbeard one.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
the Blackbeard one. I can't remember her
Penelope
name.
Cruz.
Penelope Cruz, yes.
I was supposed to say Salma Hayek.
No, this new one, I actually don't recognize her. She's in TV shows I didn't watch. But she was actually really good. She was really good in it. Like, as a strong female lead, she was a very strong female lead. Like, she was very serious, and she was very tough and be like, I can't believe I'm with these pirates. And then, like, when they try to play with her, she's like, no, I'm not going to let you play with me. And, like punch him in the face or whatever. But the problem that I had with this character is that she's an astronomer, right? Like, she studies the stars, and she studies, what at that time in the 1700s, what that stuff would have been. And for whatever reason, they keep calling her a witch in the movie. Like she gets arrested and she's in jail because they think she's a witch. And she's like, I'm not a witch. I believe in science. I study the stars.
There's no other female character listed on IMDb except Keira Knightley, or at least on the main page.
Are you looking up the right movie?
Dead Men Tell No Lies?
Dead Men Tell No Tales, yes.
Or Tales?
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
Oh, Zoe Saldana, right?
Let me see.
The Star Trek girl?
No.
No?
No. Let me see.
Not the black girl that's in all the alien movies? Where she's
What?
an alien and everything? Guardians of the Galaxy, Avatar.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Hold on, wait. Keira Knightley. Nope.
I think you saw the wrong movie, dude.
No, it's not. No.
I think you went to the wrong movie.
Well, hold on, wait a second. Half the people on here weren't even in the movie.
Well,
Zoe Saldana was in the first one.
Well,
This is the Curse of the Black Pearl.
No.
Yes, that was the Curse of the Black Pearl.
I'll find it.
No. You're messing up, so I'm going to find it for you.
Geoffrey
Pirates of the
Rush
Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
from The King's Speech.
He was in that one, actually.
He's Barbossa.
Yep. Barbossa. Really annoying. I'm just gonna sidetrack onto that. They kept calling him Hector. That really bothered me.
Hector?
Yeah, they kept calling him Hector. I guess his first name is Hector.
Barbossa?
Yeah, but it was just bothering me because I'm like, why?
That is weird.
Anyway, this is her, since you had to know.
Didn't you just say this is like a famous person?
Well, she's the actor. I don't know if she's famous. She's in stuff. I don't know what the stuff is. So she's not that famous.
She's
I don't know
in
if she is.
Maze Runner.
There you go.
Super
I didn't watch
famous.
that.
I don't know.
But
what that is.
anyway,
Because I'm not a 13-year-old girl.
Anyway, her character is she's an astronomer, but the people keep calling her a witch. And here's why I hated that and why I couldn't even focus on the rest of the movie.
She's a witch.
Because of this. Everyone, like, they arrested her and put her in jail because they were calling her a witch. Everyone in the movie, the pirates and everybody that ever saw her was calling her a witch. There's a scene where she escapes
On a broomstick.
jail. She escapes jail. And she's running through this town, and she goes into this building that is like the building of a scientist or whatever. And she's like looking at this telescope that he has set up. And then the guy walks in and goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I aligned your telescope for you. Oh, and by the way, this map you've been creating is all wrong. So I went ahead and corrected it, but you're going to have to redo the work." And then he goes, "You're a witch." I hated that because it's like, you're a scientist. And she just told you scientist things, and you're calling her a witch.
Yeah.
That's like if the doctor walks in on the nurse looking at x-rays and go, "Heretic! You're a heretic!" Like, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, if she was into some kind of science that wasn't a science back then, I would understand. Let's say she was like a fucking Frankenstein, and she was like, I can probably bring this thing back to life if I shock it a couple times. Then I would understand, because that's something that they hadn't seen before. Astronomy was already a science. In fact, that was one of those sciences that they were still using it to, like, see how the world was going to be.
It seems like it'd be pretty important if you lived your life on the sea and you had to get from place to place.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be like, "Oh, no, take a left at this wave over here."
Yeah.
No, hang right. No, don't turn right. Hang right. Bear right.
And that's exactly why that's like a problem. Is it's like this at this time. Astronomy was really important to a lot of people, just like you said. Like even the pirates, like she'd be like, the stars are saying this, or like, I was looking at the stars, and if we follow them, then we might get to the secret treasure. And the pirates are like, don't listen to the witch. I'm like, fucking you guys would listen to the stars.
You guys.
The pirates have, like they had navigation tools, but if they didn't work, they had to use what they could to do it. It's like the whole thing of the North Star. You look at the North Star because it faces north. The whole thing is it takes you home or whatever. It's like this fucking pirates wouldn't even call her a witch because they'd be like, oh yeah, that's pretty common knowledge around here. Like I was so fucking dumbfounded. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. And then again, it's like if you wanted to make her into some other kind of scientist person, that's fine. But like, just using the idea of just everyone being like, you're a witch. And she's like, I'm not a witch. Because they do it in the entire movie, and that's why it bothered me. From the start that you see her to the end of the movie, everyone's calling her a witch just because she's an astronomer. And it's like, but there's no reason that you would think that. No fucking reason at all.
So are these the regular pirates that are calling her a witch?
Yeah.
Or the ghost pirates that are calling her a witch?
No, the regular pirates. That one did actually have ghost pirates. Because that's what I will say. The guy that played the main villain, bless you, goodness gracious. Nice dab, bro.
Thank you.
But the guy who, I would say the good thing about that movie is the guy who played the villain did fantastic.
Was that Javier Bardem?
Yeah. Well, that's him, yeah. The guy who did
the Spanish guy.
Yeah, the Spanish guy. He was a fantastic villain. Like that movie should have just been more him. Like if they put like 10, 15 more minutes of him, that movie would have been way better. But there was just some stuff that I just couldn't like. It's like, again, like I was saying, I'm able to expand the disbelief and I'm able to like put myself into the whatever world you're creating. But there are just certain things so I'm like, fuck off. I can't fucking get behind that.
There should have been 10% more scurvy.
Yes.
And at least 30% more gonorrhea.
There is a huge lack of scurvy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could also tell that like at this point it's getting more difficult for them to like get people to want to be in the movie because there was only like 3 pirates that have been in any of the other movies that are like still there.
I think they're probably just blowing their whole load on Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that's
like,
all it is.
We need you. Like, I need a
because even
million. Like, okay.
Even he wasn't that great. Like they like even like most. So part of it too is ever since he played the Mad Hatter, every part that he's gotten except for that movie like Black Mass, I think, is just him being Mad Hatter. Like it's just him being quirky and weird for no reason whatsoever. And that's how he was in this one. Like he wasn't Johnny Depp or he wasn't Jack Sparrow. He was Johnny Depp in a Jack Sparrow outfit. So even he wasn't like enjoyable.
This is like, I guess this is in between him losing his wife and Elon Musk picking her up.
Yeah.
Which that alone is
Elon Musk picked up?
Yeah, so he was married to who's the water guy from the DC Justice League? Aquaman?
Uh-huh.
So
Jason Momoa?
No, who plays his wife in the Amber Heard?
Oh, okay.
Right? He was married to her.
Uh-huh.
And then like they broke up and Elon Musk was like, "Yo, what's up? I got billions."
I mean, that is what he does.
Which is like, yeah, that's a pretty good pickup line. I won't refute it. If he was like, "I got millions," I'd be like, "Oh, calm down, douchebag." He's like, "Nah." Bubba billions. I think with Elon Musk, my theory is he just took all. He's not this super smart genius guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just hired like a really good PR team with all his PayPal money. And this has all been
just a big charade.
Big charade. SpaceX, Tesla, Hyperloop. Yeah. It's all made up.
Maybe what the fuck is Elon Musk? Like, besides the fact that he's billionaire or whatever, what is he? What does he do? Like what? How did he get his millions? Because the thing is, I know Elon Musk by name, but I keep hearing it thrown out there. But like, what the fuck is he? Is he a scientist? Is he just a billionaire?
So he was part of the team that helped create PayPal.
Okay.
Right, and so then they made PayPal. They built it up. I think they like sold it to eBay, and all the guys made tons of money. One of the dudes that made LinkedIn, he's one of the guys from PayPal. So he originally wanted to be like a doctor of material science, but he's like, you know what? And this is all probably like new PR stuff that he puts out now.
Yeah.
But he's like, you know what? When I was like in fucking graduate school, I was thinking I could write like a paper, and it could be, you know, just some academic paper that doesn't ever get used, or I could go out and like change the world and like invent stuff. You know, like the internet's gonna be a big thing, and I feel like renewable energy is gonna be a big thing, and space travel. So he made all his money in PayPal. Then he's pretty much taken that money, and against what would be common sense, which is like, oh, just take that money and invest in other things or do this. Mm-hmm. He kind of went really against the grain and built like his own space, not space exploration, but like necessarily
space team,
basically like UPS for NASA.
Okay.
So like what he can do with his stuff, because he uses like old like Soviet rockets. Mm-hmm. To launch stuff into space, and because they can reuse the rockets, it's so much cheaper. Okay. So that's a large part of what SpaceX does, is they send stuff into space that otherwise NASA's like, oh, that would cost us, $1 billion. He's like, I can do that for $100 million.
Oh, okay.
And then Tesla is kind of, Tesla is like apparently not so much like an automotive company as it is like a proof of concept, Silicon Valley.
Well, like a think tank where they make shit and try to like
basically trying to prove like, hey, electrical cars are viable.
Oh, okay.
And so like you hear about like, oh, Tesla stock went up, it's at $350, but like everyone's like, I don't know if it's really worth $350 because they're not selling that much money. They're not selling that many cars, but it's the idea.
Yeah, because when it comes to like people going to Mars and all that kind of talk and stuff, it's just one of those things where like Elon.
E-L-O-N?
Elon Musk. His name keeps coming up, but like nobody explains it, because I always thought I'm like, is he a scientist? Is he a thing? Like, what is he? His name just keeps popping up, but he's just a billionaire guy who's like eccentric and
a crazy smart
and wants to do shit.
Dude with a lot of resources.
It's like in Civilization games.
Yeah,
it's like
he's going to
it's
Alpha
like Donald
Centauri.
Trump's the one that's trying to win by economic means, and he's the one going the science route.
yeah. Someone's trying to win by domination, which is going to happen.
Yeah, because I know when people were talking about Trump becoming president, they were like, "Well, Elon Musk should. He has just as much money, and he's trying to further humanity by going to Mars."
Also, not American.
Oh, is he not? What is he?
South African, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I guess.
Well, but people were also saying the same thing about Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they were saying the same thing. They're like, well, he should run for president. Like, he can't. Like, well, we should change the rules then.
We should change him.
Because we want the Terminator in the office, even though he did mediocre in California.
Then we get some fucking Russian sleeper agent in the office.
Yeah.
Ooh, spoopy.
Well, we already do. Topical political humor.
Yes.
Yeah. So many. I don't know. I don't trust the billionaires. Like millionaires, I don't care about, because millions aren't as much. When I think about millions in today's world,
there's a lot more of them.
Yeah,
a lot more.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot more millionaires than there are billionaires, but it's like billion is a lot of money. A million's a lot of money, but it's not as much money as you think. Because I was somebody was explaining one time that when you think about how, like, when you think of $1 million and you think how you would spend the $1 million, what you were actually thinking in your head is how someone with $10 million spends it.
Yeah.
Because $1 million is not a lot. Like, once you buy a $500,000 car, that's already half gone. Mm-hmm. And then I'll pay off all my bills. Well, that's a lot of money. So then you have now $250,000 left, and then that's not much to live off of. So it's like when someone says, "I'll give you $1 million here right now." It's like, that's a decent amount. But 10 million and then is a lot more, and then $1 billion, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of people, like over the course of their life, they'll make $1 million.
Oh yeah,
but it'll go in and it'll go right back out.
Well, and just like exactly, because that's how like the economics of this country works, is that like you'll be at this percentile, and it's like you'll move up. and yeah, over your lifetime, you will eventually you would have made. It's just like in those games, like where the whole point, like Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's like you'll never have $1 million at one point, but at the end of the game, it'll be like, this is how much you've made. It's like, oh shit, I made $100 million.
What have I
but
done?
I spent it all because I was doing more shit.
I had to pay the janitor to clean up the vomit because the guests were getting upset. Also, all those people died when I launched them to the side of that mountain.
But there was a billionaire guy who bought, I can't remember the name of the place, but it's somewhere out west. It was like it's one of those places where it was initially like Native American territory, and then they got pushed off of it eventually, or they left it, and then like apparently the military were doing testing in that area, and then they left, and then there's stories of strange things happening. And there was like a ranch that was like on there, like eventually like a ranch was on there, and the family moved there, and they said that they like their livestock would die or disappear, weird things would happen, sometimes they'd hear weird noises and stuff, and so it's one of those things like, oh, something weird is happening around here, and then all of a sudden, like 2010, a billionaire bought the place. Like a billionaire bought the entire land that all of this stuff was supposedly happening, and then like and is just testing it. Like he's moved a research team in there and is doing stuff in there, but like he's not telling anybody. And it's like, well, what the fuck's going on? Like, and it's because there's like, it's one of those things where there's theories of like Bigfoot or coyote monsters or whatever. Like they think that there's something out there that either was like is a test or something like that, and this guy has now bought it because he's interested in what it is, but he's not like releasing anything that he's found so far. And it's like, fucking billionaires, man, they're so fucking like, they can just do anything, and it's so questionable. It's
gonna be such a bummer if it turns out like, oh no, they were just trying to get the insurance money.
Right.
They thought their cows were worth a lot more. They should have just set them on fire. Yeah. They should have just faked a coyote. Like, nope.
And since we kind of
aliens,
since we kind of directed that way, what do you think is in Area 51?
Well, I've been to Roswell. You been there, right?
I have not been to Roswell.
But you're like from
New Mexico,
near that area, aren't you?
Well, I might have driven by that area, but through it, but I never went there. I do want to go to Roswell though. I would love to go there. Like on my way back, someday I would definitely stop by Roswell.
What is there? I don't know. Because you have like Los Alamos pretty nearby, and then you do have, which that's like the big famous atomic bomb stuff,
right? Yeah, the testing,
and then they kind of moved all the fancy airplane stuff to like California at some point.
So do you think there's anything still there?
I think it's just military stuff, like testing. Oh, this is a weather balloon. See if a guy can jump out of it. I did, when I was there, we did see some like off in the distance, like I guess they're like to us they were UFOs, right, literally, because we couldn't identify them,
right?
But I don't think they're like aliens. Even though like you go there and all the museums like, hey, look at this little green guy. That's a little plaster mold. That's just kind of sitting there like, oh wow, we paid for this. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
See, let
me get my little coin,
like,
my 50-cent, 1-cent pressed piece.
Yeah,
it's an UFO. I've been to Roswell.
I think that the government has almost created like a purposeful shroud around Area 51. I honestly think that it's not even that there's anything in there. It's just that they're trying to like get people to think there's something in there. Just like I was saying, it's just a charade. They're just playing it up and like, oh, we're totally hiding something back there. Because what's his name? The President Carter. No, President Carter.
That's his name. His name's Trump.
One of the points that he was making when he was running for presidency was he was saying when he becomes president, he's going to
sweater vests.
He's going to make more sweater vests made out of peanuts because he was a peanut farmer.
Yes.
And then he would release more information on Area 51. He's like, when I become president, I'm going to make more files accessible about Area 51, and we're going to get down to the secret of it. He became president, and then never mentioned it again. And even when people brought up like, hey, Mr. President Carter, now that you're president, are we going to get those files about Area 51? He said, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, refused to say anything about it. And it's like, God, they're just perpetuating it. Like, there's something there. Like, that was one of his selling points. People probably voted for him just for that sole reason. Like, those people were out there that did that. And then just the fact that he's like, nope, can't do that. It's like, even the president can't do it. Like, come on. But because I was thinking about it, it's like the whole thing with like Roswell, or one of the alien contacts that like is the conspiracy theory, is like a ship landed and then there was a body, and then the government came and took the body and took it away and took it to Area 51. So maybe they have an alien body in Area 51. I was thinking like, what if that's the case? But then it's like I was also like looking at a picture of one of the first men to go into space was a Russian cosmonaut. But the problem is that they sent him up there with no way to get him back. So when he came back to Earth, he just fried up. Like, the entire ship just caught fire, and his body landed somewhere. And then, like, they have pictures of it and be like, this is what's left of him. And you can't even tell it's a human. It looks like a rock. It just looks like a rock that they have on a table. Like, no, there's a person in there, at least part of them. And I'm like, what if that's the case? What if we were testing something, and then some guy went up there and came back and got fried on the way back, and then when he landed, the government was like, fuck, take Gary and put him in the base, and don't let anyone see that we totally messed up like the Russians did.
Yeah, I don't know. The one thing that gets me is like, okay, who are the people that work there? Mm-hmm. And like, where do they go? I mean, you'll meet people. I mean, if you're around here long enough, you're like, oh yeah, I worked at the Pentagon. Or,
right? Yeah,
I worked. Yeah, I lived in.
Or it's like I know people who've worked for the NSA.
I've lived in
so
Langley.
They have information on that.
I know people that work for the CIA or whatever. So that's the weird part. Like, you can have a fully operational place, and like people.
Well, and like people have tried to talk to people that like have said to have worked there. Because it is a military base, and so you can be not be conscripted, but you can join the military and then get stationed in Area 51. But yeah, like people have interviewed people that have worked for there, but even then they're like, no, I can't tell you anything. It's like the only thing they tell you is like, security's really high, we don't let anyone in or out. And it's like, well, yeah, no duh, we got that part down. We want to know, where's the Ark of the Covenant? Like, we know you have it.
I don't know. Would you want to know if there's like aliens there? Because like I see stuff on the internet every day that's like, look at this weird fucking lizard that lives in the bottom of the ocean, and no one's ever seen it before. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I do think. So I do understand that ignorance is bliss. I think that's like one of the biggest selling points to keeping shit like that secret. It's like in Men in Black. It's like if you tell the entire world tomorrow that aliens exist, they'd lose their fucking minds. And I do totally understand that. But at the same time, if something like that was like real, I don't know. I would probably want to know, because it would definitely introduce a lot more thought. And because you know why? As a comedian, I think it would be gold. Could you imagine the jokes you could come up with if tomorrow you found out aliens were real?
I mean, it'd be cool to know, but I don't know.
It would be like the new era of like Trump jokes. Like people, like comedians would stop making. People would stop making Trump jokes and go directly to, man, I feel racist now for putting on an alien costume for last Halloween. It's like, it would immediately jump over. And, but I don't know. Because, I mean, there's other things, too. Like, what if it was time travel?
Oh, yeah. What if it was Arrival? Did you see that?
Arrival?
Arrival.
Oh, Arrival. The movie. I thought you were saying a rival, and I was like, a rival to what?
What was a rival? What if it was Gary?
Fucking
Smell
Gary.
you later.
You fucking... Stop fucking my mom, Gary.
Gary Oakes.
Gary Oak, you piece of shit. But yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it could be like time travel. It could be like Arrival or something like that. I don't know. I was just thinking about that too, because Donald Trump said he was going to come out with information on JFK.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be released the 27th.
Oh, the 27th?
Oh yeah, I'm moving on that day.
Oh. Well, you can Google it before you move.
Is it connected somehow? Do I have the information? Am I taking it with me?
I like
Drive Off to the Sunset with the JFK files.
Did you did you ever play Mortal Kombat X?
Yeah. Is it the one that's like you do the fatalities or special moves and are like super graphic, like
it's one of them. Like they added them.
So that's probably one with like Jason or Freddy.
Yeah, it's the one that has Jason. It's got Jason, the Predator, and Alien.
Oh, okay.
I actually really liked it. It was actually really fun. A lot of the characters were really fun to play as. By the way, just real quick, I fucking called it. I want everyone to know listening. I fucking called it with Predator, because when the one before that they had Freddy, right? They Freddy Krueger.
Just Freddy Kruegs.
Just Freddy Krueger, okay. as a downloadable character, and I was like, that's cool, but like. I was like, it's not cool unless they add Jason, because then you can have Freddy versus Jason, like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, and then I was like, even then, if you look at all like the 80s horror movie people, the one that is easily a Mortal Kombat character, Predator, like he looks like a Mortal Kombat character in his armor and the way he looks.
Oh yeah.
He's got the weaponry, he's got the claws, he's got the spear, he's got the shoulder cannon. And then he's like, he just yells and screams. I'm like, dude, he'd be a perfect Mortal Kombat character. Mortal Kombat X come out. They announced the first set of DLC characters. First one, fucking Predator. I was like, yes! I called that shit like 4 years before that game came out.
You've heard it here, folks. Steven Baxley's the Nostradamus.
Ed Boon got the idea from me.
Of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat Nostradamus.
That's right. But anyway, but there's a character in Mortal Kombat X, and he's a gunslinger, and he's actually got the magic bullet as like an X-ray move, where he like fires a bullet that's got your like the other character's name on it that he's shooting, and the bullet like goes into I think the guy's gut and busts like his spleen, and then bounces off his rib up into his jaw, and then like bounces down again and like shoots him in the nuts or something.
Is that even fair that he can just have a gun? Like the other dudes have like magic, like essentially, right?
Well, that's
like
the thing. Is that the guns
lightning.
to many of the characters wouldn't do jack shit. Like the human characters, yeah, it would. It's a bullet through me. Oh shit! But like most of them is like, do you think a bullet's gonna do anything to fucking Goro? No, because Goro's got 4 arms and he's a dragon, so he ain't gonna fucking do shit.
Is he really a dragon?
Yeah, it's like a dragon race.
So like his animality.
Yeah.
Remember that shit? Do they still have that? Animalities.
Some characters do.
What about babalities or babytalities?
They did in the last one. They took them out in this one. This one was they just did just gritty and like really crazy.
That was the best thing about the ones on the SNES. Oh
yeah.
You turn your opponent into a baby. Like, I win.
Shit. They had that one in Mortal Kombat 9. Friendality. When they like pull out the friendship. It was just friendship. It was fun too because the guy would ask it too. He'd be like, Liu Kang wins. Friendship. Oh gosh, man. Oh dude, like man, they would come up with some great videos on Newgrounds, and they would use like the 8-bit and 16-bit games like Mortal Kombat and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, one of my favorites was they were doing like Invasion of Mortal Kombat. And it was like Sub-Zero fighting Scorpion, and Scorpion was like doing the daze thing, so he's about to get fatalities. And Sub-Zero is like, starts to run over to him. And then the lights go out, and you hear the commentators from WWE going, "What's going on? What? Who turned off the lights?" And then they come off, and it's like a 16-bit Undertaker, and he like grabs Sub-Zero and like choke slams him, and he explodes on the ground. Then he picks up Scorpion and Tombstone pile drives him, and then it's like, "Oh my God, Undertaker wins fatality." And it was just like little shit like that it was like, man, fucking Newgrounds has got that shit down.
It's so funny looking back at like some of the Newgrounds videos, and like some of my favorite ones from back in the day. Like, oh, the person that made that was 14 years old. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
How? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
And a lot of them are now they
guess makes sense because I was like 8.
Yeah. And a lot of them now have moved to YouTube, and so like you can see like, oh shit, this guy that was making funny dick videos on Newgrounds is now making a lot more money on YouTube. Like, and then like you, it's like, fuck, he's only like 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
It's
like,
shit.
These are like real people that like they built this skill up and now they're animated on Family Guy or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to go back and think about the pre-YouTube era.
Do you have a favorite Newgrounds thing? My favorite was maybe one of my favorites. No, probably my favorite. There's something about Halo, which is I think that came out between Halo 1 and Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big spoof of Halo 1.
I think I might have seen that.
It's pretty funny.
I remember that. I had a few that were my favorite ones. So firstly, Ego Raptor. You had the Pokey Awesome, and then he had a bunch of stuff on there. Like I
didn't discover that stuff until like late, until it was on YouTube. But
I knew about some of his stuff, and then once he started putting it on YouTube, then I started doing that. Funny enough, this is kind of embarrassing just because this is when I was young and like I started to explore that kind of thing. Before I found porn sites, I would use Newgrounds.
Oh yeah,
because they had a lot of good porn shit. All hentai though. It was all hentai because they didn't put porn on there. Obviously, it had to be artistic in some way, and so there was a bunch of porn games.
Yeah, they're like
stuff.
Flash things like dress this person up.
Yeah,
like,
dress this person up, and it was like,
would I?
That was so funny because it's like I'm not going to dress him.
I'm 12 years old.
Yeah,
and it's a naked person. But I'm going to put some cartoon clothing on her.
Yeah, and it was funny because like a friend of mine, I went over to my friend's house and he had just gotten a computer put in his room, and so he could play some of his computer games. But then obviously when his parents went away, and like he would make like a funny one, like the one where it's like, if you answer this question right, I take my top off, and if you don't, I'm gonna stab you in the eye with scissors. And it's like, oh boy. So we'd answer him wrong, and then she'd be like stabbing you in the fucking eye with scissors, and like, you got it wrong. Here's the second one. If you get this one wrong, I'm chopping your dick off. And you're like, oh god, I really got to get these things right. But it was like, oh, this is a funny website, and this is some stupid shit. And then I like went home and like went on to Newgrounds. I'm like, time to explore. Time to explore this new website that my friend showed me. So yeah, so a lot of that was a lot of my favorite stuff on Newgrounds was NSFW. But I was too young to work.
Bound chicka
wow wow.
Bound chicka wow. Bow wow.
Yeah, it's so sad too when you go back to Newgrounds and like websites like that didn't keep up to date with the putting content onto the internet. Because like nobody uses Newgrounds anymore. Nobody posts on. They lost all their big posters. They lost a lot of their big artists and stuff.
I saw someone share a link on Facebook from E-Bombs World.
Oh my god, is E-Bombs World still around?
It was at least like the domain, like ebombsworld.com. Here's a thing. Wow. I was like, what? Really?
Because E-Bombs World was another pre-YouTube website that so many kids today aren't even going to know what that was. But like that was where you went to watch videos.
Yeah.
And that was where you went to get jokes and memes, basically. The fucking Numa guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had to go to fucking E-Bombs World to watch that shit. Wow. Yeah. That's so funny to think about again. That like somebody out there was like, you have to go to all these different websites to get all these funny clips and videos and stuff. Why don't we just make it so you can put it on one? And then YouTube was created. And I remember too, like when YouTube first opened up and they were like, yeah, just go to YouTube and like you can look up this video. And I was like, what? I looked it up and I was like, this is fucking ingenious. Like this is really smart. And now they're fucking kings of the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Google became the source of everything. If you have a question, Google it. Like I remember, growing up, I used to go to my mom and ask questions, and she would either have the answer or say that's just how God made it.
Do you ever use anything other than Google?
No.
Bing.
Bing.
You ever ask Jeeves?
No. God.
I used to ask Jeeves a lot when I was a kid.
Jeeves doesn't know nothing.
And I would like write it as a question. I'd be like, what is the circumference of the Earth? ? I'd like go through like 8 links before I found the answer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Bing sucks. I think that's why they took it off Xbox. Because Bing used to be on Xbox, and then
they
really
gone?
took it off. Is it? I think so.
Good.
At least if it is, you have to like download the link to it, or like you can still get it. But other than that, it's gone. No, I never use anything besides Google. Even if I'm on something, I will search up Google. Like if I'm on Yahoo, I will search up Google and go to Google.
Yeah, Firefox gives you Yahoo as default. Just bullshit.
Well, they
not even MSNBC News search bar.
I used to. That used to be my homepage, and
or
then
MSN.
I realized that
it was just
MSN,
Google, right?
Like,
It was just MSN.
Yeah, I will say Google used to fuck you over though, because it used to keep like everything that you searched, and it still does, but you can turn it off now.
Oh yeah.
But like it used to keep everything you searched, and like the problem was that now you can delete it. So let's say you look up, because it's not even like just porn thing, just stuff where you're like, is your poop supposed to be green? It's like you put that in there and it would stay there, and you're like, crap.
That's a high iron content.
Right. I know. Well, I know that now. I googled it.
You know that people. A lot of people don't know that still.
But it's like, you put it in there and it would stay there, and then if somebody like looked up something that they put in that first letter, it would bring it up, and that was the worst when you try to watch porn, because you'd look up, lesbians, and then enter, and then put it in, and then your mom would be like, I'm gonna go Google, low income family, and be like, no, look up something with a W. Don't put an L. And so what I would have to do is I'd have to search like 10 things, so that on the list of things that was like in the search bar, the lesbians was at the bottom, so that you couldn't see it. Because like, nobody teaches you how to delete search history when you're a kid.
The kind of like the catch-22 of that, at least the solution for that, is either to take the hit, in which case you're in trouble like immediately, near future, or be like, oh, the computer must have a virus, in which case long term, you've sown a lot of seeds of mistrust, and like, okay, be careful with the computer.
Yeah,
remember that one time I had the virus and they're showing the Asian midget porn.
Yeah,
you're like, oh yeah, I definitely remember that was bad, I'm gonna not do that.
Yeah.
Best be careful with mysterious technology that we don't really understand.
Did you ever get caught watching porn? Did you ever get caught red-handed?
Porn? No, but back in the day when MySpace was a thing, you can have all like those MySpace sluts as friends.
Oh yeah.
You just have like the pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And we just had like the
naked people. Like
my family would be sitting there, and the computer would be right there, and like they'd be all watching TV, and I'd be like, and then I think one day my brother was like, "Hey mom, look what Mark's doing," and I got in bad trouble.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, "Ah, shit."
Way to fucking.
And then just sit there, and my mom be like, "All right, Mark, show me your page." I'm like, "Okay." Oh, the password doesn't work. The password doesn't work.
I keep putting it in. I have no idea.
I don't know what's going on.
And then would lock you out.
Must have a virus.
Fuck, now I actually
must have a virus.
Yeah. I think I would we had television, and we had DirecTV. So I would get like HBO and Showtime. So before I had computer access, I would watch like the softcore shit that would come on to HBO and stuff. And that one was just like dick in one hand, remote control in the other. And just the minute you felt like the jiggle of that door, you were like changing it to Disney. Which made your parents think, are you fucking jerking off to Mickey Mouse? Like, what the shit's going on here?
I got in trouble one time for not watching porn. Not like it was a daily requirement or anything.
It's a chore. It's do your laundry, take out the trash, go watch some tits.
Watch your porn. I was like flipping through the channels, and the volume was really loud, and I flipped through some like women's tennis or like some drama where like a lady was getting tortured.
Yeah. Oh,
and so you just hear it was like and my mom like came storming around the door like, "What were you watching?" I was like, how was this happening? How am I in trouble for doing nothing? She's like, show me what you're watching. I'm like, no. Well, okay, let me show you. Boop, 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 boop. let me go back to the last 10 channels because it's not physically possible for me to scroll through that many.
There was a couple of times when it would be like, Steve, what are you watching? And be like, nothing, I was just flipping through the channels. And I could argue that point because I'm like changing the channel constantly. Mm-hmm. She's like, go back to that last thing you were watching, and it was like 3 channels ago. It's like, oh, no, see, it's nothing. But the worst time that I had that I actually had like to have the sit down talk about was when my mom went through my search history on the one week I didn't delete it. You know, I usually was pretty good on it, but the 1 week that I didn't, I was like, fuck. And it was really bad because that was the week that I like decided to look up the worst shit imaginable. And I was like, that's the fucking worst, right? Is when your mom catches you not only watching porn, but like that's the one where you're like, let's look up some shit that's illegal in a couple countries. Like, nothing that's going to get me arrested, but people, if they knew, they're going to judge me real harsh. And it's like, it's really bad when you know your mom can't even describe what she saw. And especially bad because you're like, dude, I visit like 1,000 sites. I don't know what I was watching. I don't know what she saw. Because it's like, and especially bad too, because it's like I wanted to clarify. She's like, Steven, I saw the websites you were going to, and I don't like it. I don't like that you went to those websites where they were doing just appalling things. And I was like, fuck. And then I wanted to explain, like, I almost want to ask, like, well, which link did you click on? And it matters because what if you find the one of a girl getting raped by a giant tentacle monster? It's like, I didn't jerk off to that one. I was just watching that one. Like, I want you to know what got me off and what I was just looking almost like as a dare. It's like, I was jerking off to the normal one, not the one where the girl was getting molested by a washing machine. I just want you to know that. Because I'm not weird. I was just doing it because my body's full of hormones.
So weird.
But yeah, so from then on, it was safe search. Safe search only. You can't mime the fucking podcast an hour into it. You got to fucking use your words.
It's avant-garde.
What?
It's very new stuff. You guys don't get it yet because you're dumb.
Are you fucking calling the listeners dumb?
They're dumb. They're dummy dumbs.
Wow.
Hey, you guys. You suck.
That is just completely unbelievable of you.
Oh, I watched a scary movie last night. Or not. It was another thriller.
Well,
but it was kind of scary. Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard. I was like, you know what? I don't really watch scary stuff. I'm going to go ahead and try and watch a scary thing.
Which one is that one?
Hugh Jackman and Terrence Howard, who played Rhodey in the first Iron Man.
Okay.
Their daughters get kidnapped. And they're trying to figure out what happened to their daughters.
Yeah, and they think that some dude did it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watched that.
That's a pretty insane movie.
It was pretty god.
Yeah, I didn't see all of it. I saw some of it, and then I later saw the ending. Yeah,
I felt like I'd seen like a good 45-minute chunk of it. I was like, have I seen that? And then the ending happened. I was like, nah, I haven't seen this.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to watch more movies. I've been watching nearly as many movies.
That's almost all I fucking do.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I'm a huge I'm not gonna say I'm a huge cinephile. But the thing is, the thing that I've noticed is that there's a lot of movies that are considered movies that you have to see that I haven't seen. Like, I was thinking about it, I haven't seen Fargo. And Fargo is, so many people were like, if I was stuck on an island, Fargo would be the movie that I'd want to keep. And I'm like, I haven't even fucking seen it. And so I need to.
Yeah. You can take it or leave it.
And what it is I have moments where I do that. I went through a phase where I kept watching Tarantino movies because there were plenty of dude, you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs? That's one of the best movies. You haven't seen Pulp Fiction? That's one of the best movies. So I was purposely going out looking for Quentin Tarantino films.
You seen Jackie Brown?
I have not. That's still one that I've not seen.
What? It's decent.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, that's the thing. Tarantino is 50 50-50 for me. It's like Reservoir Dogs was a good movie, but like the thing that's like it's like they're all bad guys. Like there's not a hero. The only hero is the entire time he's on the floor bleeding. Like he's not even acting. He's just taking a nap the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's movies that are like they're great because they have like a couple moments.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh wow, look, that fucking instant was really cool.
Yeah.
Then there's movies that are great because they have great like cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's others like they got great acting.
Yeah.
And then maybe the script is really interesting, but like there's sometimes like if it has one, it's like not enough for me anymore.
Right.
Because there's like so much stuff to compare it against. You're like, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I felt about Reservoir Dogs. Like it had really cool moments, like the Mexican standoff when they're all, they got the guns at each other and they don't know like who's going to shoot first. It's like that scene's really cool. The scene where the guy's like torturing the cop.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like that's an intense scene.
That's like the scene.
That's the scene. But then it's like there's also just huge swaths of the movie which is like, honestly, I'll stand to the death with this movie. My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie of all time will always be Django Unchained. I think that movie is just perfect.
I love that.
I've seen it so many times and I'd still watch it. Like it's great. And then you get to when Leonardo DiCaprio gets in that movie and it's better. Like he makes that movie end so well because he's in the last portion of it, but the whole movie itself is just great. Jamie Foxx is fantastic. Christoph Waltz, love that guy.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I like that one because he was a villain in like every movie that he's been in. Christoph Waltz, the German guy.
Oh yeah.
And then
I'm trying to think.
And then and then finally, I remember reading something that was like initially he was supposed to be like a racist character like everyone else. Mm-hmm. Like he was supposed to like buy Django and then just keep him because he needed him around and stuff like that. And then maybe at the end him realize like, maybe we're not so different. But then Christoph Waltz was like, well, hold on. What if my guy wasn't? He's like, what if my guy wasn't a racist?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
and Quentin Tarantino immediately like he heard that and just gave it like 5 seconds thought and he said, that's genius. He's like, you're right. He's like, we have so many other characters in this movie that are that. He's like, we should have one that's not. And it made that movie so good. Like his character, I think, was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the soundtrack from that movie too is pretty good.
Oh, really I just
good. Like
I have 2 songs from it on my iPod.
I just like listened to the soundtrack like for 2 weeks. It was just like the music I play. Like okay, gonna go walk around somewhere.
Yeah,
gonna go do my grocery shopping.
I found the Django. I actually found the movies like the Django movies. That the scene. So the scene where the Mandingo fighting is going on when they first meet Leonardo DiCaprio, and the other guy, the Italian guy, is fighting his fighter, and then he walks up to the bar and he's talking to Jamie Foxx, and he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Django." How do you spell it? DJANGO. The D is silent, and then he goes, "I know," and he walks away. That actor played Django in a Italian spaghetti western, and it was said the exact same way. It's actually it was some of the inspiration behind Django Unchained in the sense that it was one of the first spaghetti westerns that had a lot of excessive blood in it, because most of them are like it's like John Wayne ones where they shoot and the guy goes and then falls over. It was like one of the first ones where they had like the blood splattering constantly and the blood coming out and stuff. So, but yeah, it's really interesting. But that was the actor that played Django. So that's why when he said the D is silent, he's like, I know. I was in the movie. I know. I played Django. But I found those movies on Amazon Prime, and I'm gonna fucking watch them one day.
Wait, what?
I found the movies. I'm gonna watch them.
On Amazon?
Mm-hmm. Amazon Prime.
Do you watch movies on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, they have like they have a streaming thing. Like you can buy the movies and then you can stream them just like Netflix.
I thought it was like old school Netflix where like they mailed them to you. You need to mail them back.
Oh no. Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you can buy movies and then stream them, and then they also give like free ones that you can watch. That's why having television is so completely out of date now. Because if you have Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, you can watch anything. Like they all have movies, they all have some TV shows, and they're like just like if me and my sister are like, yeah, let's watch a movie, we'll go into our Xbox or PlayStation 4 and just look up every single lap, and we can usually end up finding it somewhere.
Yeah, I had a buddy who just a year ago, he was like, yeah, I only have a VHS. I was like, you can go to the library and borrow DVDs. You have an Xbox.
You can't even get a VHS anywhere.
You have a thing that can play DVDs. You have a laptop? Okay, why?
Yeah.
Why are you watching VHS? Like, that's all I have money for. No, obviously.
No, obviously not.
That thing takes discs. That thing takes discs. What is wrong with you?
Where do you even go? Like, even if you go to like Goodwill,
we had
and stuff. There's not even places that sell
bookstore that had VHSs. Get them for $1.50 or something.
See, I can't do that anymore because it's very aggravating when you buy one for like nostalgic value and then you try to play it and it's like broken or it skips or something like that. It's like, fuck. It's like I wanted this because I used to watch this movie all the time and now I can't.
They have those like a kind of like a Roku, but like a just like different knockoff brands of that.
Yeah.
Where they have like the streaming website that's like set as like a default app on it. And it's like you like, oh, I can stream the new Thor movie and I can watch it. But it's either the fucking like in theater cam footage.
Oh yeah.
Or it's the actual movie, but like they crop off like the top and bottom couple pixels because it helps them save on bandwidth.
Yeah.
And like some people have my family has no problem watching a movie like that. Like
I can't.
No.
I need high quality.
No, what is this? Is this enjoyable to you? How are you enjoying? Like you're missing a tenth of the experience.
Yeah. It's like any scene where it's like the camera's like chest high. It's like you're missing the eyes.
Yeah,
it's like
You
no,
can see the top of their head.
Yeah,
like,
I can't do that.
That's so weird.
There was like one time where I watched part of a movie that I couldn't wait to like see again, and I was like watching a recorded version of it, but like it was really like I could like I did it. I think I did it because I'd already seen the movie. I'd already seen the movie in theaters, and I just wanted to see it again. And then somebody like sent me a link to a very reputable website. It was probably just like a legal website, and yeah, it was recorded and it was difficult. But I was like, I just want to see a couple scenes from the movie, and then I did, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I can't watch the whole fucking thing. Especially because I think too is like they turned it because they like turned the camera so that they could hide it. So it was like sideways. So then you had to turn it sideways, but it's on my phone. So as I turn my phone turned sideways, so it's right side up again. It's like fuck. Stop turning. I need you just this way. But anyway, I think that's about time. We stopped talking about movies.
No, okay.
It's about time. So thank you guys so much for listening to us ramble. This is the rambling episode.
The rambling man.
Welcome to Off the Border Podcast.
The rambling bambling. What?
Off the Border Podcast with Steven.
Oh, are we doing this again?
Yeah.
Well.
And
I can't really be in like my name's just one syllable, so I don't really play it off. Well, it's Mark. Mark. Oh, Mark.
Me.
Well,
thank you for listening to Off the Board Podcast with Steven and Mick. You guys can like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You guys can lick my... Okay, never mind. And lick his ego.
I have a giant cookie that I made.
He has a giant cookie that he made.
Like literal cookie.
We're going to go eat that cookie.
Oh, boy. Yeah, okay.
We're good.
We're good. Bye. Bye. Yeah.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente.